All right, like you saw there, and you can probably guess, today I'll be showing off some of my test models for my Beastman project. I like to do test models so I can figure out a paint scheme. Common sense, didn't always do it, but I'm doing it now. I ended up doing 3 models for this. That was not the original plan. The original plan was not to do 3 models, it was to do 1. But I tried some stuff I hadn't done before, which was probably not a good move when I'm trying to get more stuff painted this year, but I did it anyways. So that's how I ended up doing 3. And I'll kind of walk you guys through what I did for these 3. And let me know which one you think looks the best. I have my idea of which one looks the best. That's probably the one I'm going to stick to, but I'm open to ideas. All right, I appreciate you guys watching, and let's hop into it. So for this first one, my thought process was to go bold from the start. I wanted to put some real bright colors underneath so that those would show through when I build up layers later on. Not too sure about how well it came out. There's parts of it that I really like. The back of the miniature, like the lats, I think turned out really good. There's other parts of it that I think kind of like resemble dog shit, basically. Like it doesn't look good. So that's when I decided I'm going to have to do another test model because I'm not going to paint a whole army like this. These are just Ungors, so does it really matter that much? No. Alright, and the camera footage, unfortunately, is going to go downhill slightly throughout this video. Don't know what it is. My phone just didn't want to focus for this video. I don't usually have this issue, but my head kind of got in the way a few times, so some of the footage is going to be kind of junk. So if you want to fast forward to parts, feel free to do so. I fully understand. But here, I'm just trying to highlight the metal. I'm trying to brighten it up a little bit. Everything came a little bit too muted for my liking with this first test model. So I was just trying to add some highlights in here, trying to add some, some striation that you would see in wood and stuff. I did want the shield to be a little bit muted. My thought process was like, these shields are probably really old, probably stolen, been laying around in the mud. I can't imagine Beastmen take very good care of their stuff. So that was kind of my thought process here, was tone everything down a little bit. Keep them muted colors. That's why it's kind of more of a grayish color. And then here you can kind of see after I was done with the highlights for the shield. And again, that skin is just a little bit too green. Here you can see after I finished the metal bits and whatnot, there's not much contrast going on there. So I decided to try to do some damage control here. So here on the wood bits, I'm going in with a wood ink from AK Interactive here. It's one of my go-tos for quick wood. Just do a couple highlights, go over that, and it usually comes out. And then here I'm just trying to, again, bring out a little bit more green because everything was kind of muted together there. So for these green bits, I decided to go with some green ink. And then I went in with some of that sepia to just hit some other bits, mainly the leather bits and whatnot. Trying to make some separation of color here just because of everything being so muted. If I haven't said that 100 times already. Same thing here with the model wash. Just trying to add a little bit more depth, hitting those metal bits, all around the metal bits, trying to get into the recesses of that wood. Just trying to add a little bit more life to the model. Again, that's why you do test models, because I was bound to jack this up. First time trying to start with these bright undershades, and it didn't come out very well. So again, still doing damage control here, trying to bring the highlights back up now after, basically destroying this model, in my opinion. And then here what I did is I took some really thin, that beastie brown, and went over it, and I do think that actually helped this model a lot, bringing the skin back up. And here you can see where we're at after the end here. It's not terrible. I mean, it's a good looking model, don't get me wrong. It's just, it doesn't have enough contrast in my opinion. I should have definitely went with a different color than with the green. I don't think the green helped it at all. All right, and then I started a second text model using just my standard zenithal. So black primer, white ink over top, building up my layers from there. And it came out okay. I was trying to paint significantly faster than I usually do. And then this is about the time I realized, what am I doing? Like, these are just Ungors. They're not nothing special. I have to paint a bunch of them for Warhammer, Old World, whatever they call it. I got to paint a bunch of them. They don't need to look outstanding. And they're not, you know, they're not like the biggest miniatures. Like, I can paint a leader to look good and a banner to look good, and that's going to make the whole unit pop. So they're also, like I said, they're not that big. For example, here is, you know, they're a standard infantry size model. Here's one of them next to a Terrorgeist with a broken wing. So that's awesome. I meant to do that, by the way. I broke it for the camera. But yeah, that's where I decided, you know, I'm probably spending way too much time on this test model. But I did one more anyways, because I wasn't quite happy with the color scheme. I felt like there was way too much brown. I needed to do something to make it stand out. Something in the shadows or brighten up the highlights, something. So that's what led me to do one more test model, and this is what I came up with. Alright, and this is the point where if you want to just fast forward the end of the video, I understand, because the footage is going to get a little bit crappy after this. But I wanted to start with some dark colors to really highlight the recesses, and then I took in some beastie brown, and then some real light tan. And that's how basically I'm going to try to get all of the skin to pop. And I just do that over the all the skin bits, everything that is skin. Duh. And here you can see my big ass head getting in the way, so that's great. But this is just me working that skin a little bit more, trying to get the highlights to come out, and then starting to put some paint on the fur bits. You can kind of see where we're at there. You know, I almost could have left it here, not done these washes, and then just popped out all the details, and it probably would have looked really good. But I went ahead and put some ink on the fur. I could have saved some time here using stuff like contrast paint but I don't have very many contrast paints just because I don't think they really save me and my painting style any time. If you could paint, if you know you like contrast paint and you have a style that works for that, then I think that would be a way better option than what I'm doing. But it doesn't work for me. I don't like it. So, yeah, there's that. I also decided to go for just standard metallics on this. I got to be realistic. I can't do NMM for an entire army of Beastmen if I want to get them done this year. Much less like this decade, realistically. So, I went with TMN here, trying to still do weathering and stuff to make it pop, because TMN in general just kind of sucks, in my opinion. But, yeah. One of the ways I decided at the same time. Alright, and unfortunately it's out of focus, but here I am going to use a fluorescent red to edge highlight all these red bits. I really want it to pop out, so I decided to go with that fluorescent reds. I've been experimenting with these fluorescents lately, and I thought this would be a good way to, one, get some experience with these fluorescents, and two, to make these pop. Unfortunately, you can't see it because you have to look at my head right now, so I apologize for that. I'm just trying to go over, hit all the red bits, just to make them pop. Again, I apologize for the video quality. I don't know what happened in this section of the video, but everything just went to crap. Nothing changed or anything. it's like it's a lower quality video. I'm not too sure, and I do apologize for that. The quality has nothing to do with my head being in the way, so that's on me. But yeah, just hit all these red bits here. You can see I'm just trying to highlight that shoulder pad. I do think this fluorescent red helped a lot. And then it's about the time where I noticed the blue isn't popping either. I needed to do something with the blue just like I'm doing with the red. I need to add a little bit more saturation. I need to bring those colors back up so that they actually stand out on this model. As you can see here, there's the red after the highlights. Terrible focus. Unsubscribe now. But yeah, I went in with just some straight blue from Pro Aquila here, doing the same thing. Just hitting those very edges, trying to edge highlight essentially all these blue bits, all these I don't know, just torn up clothes, I guess. But yeah, just trying to hit all those. On the shield too, where he's got blue, hitting that stuff. Just trying to make it pop just a little bit more. That's one thing I failed on all of these models, was I was keeping stuff a little bit too muted. You know, I was painting them a little bit too realistic in my opinion. I was too worried about, oh, these guys live in the woods, everything needs to be dirty. You know, trying to keep everything muted, but that doesn't necessarily look good on the model. Kind of like my head doesn't look good in the middle of this video. So I'll just focus on getting the model right since I can't get the video right. And that's the third model. I'm happy with that third model. I'm happy with that. There are some things I think I did better on the previous models. For instance, like the fur texture on the first one, I think came out a little bit better. I probably went a little bit too dark in the shadows on this third one, but it'll be okay. I can put this guy in the back rank and it'll be fine. That's one of the things about a test model too, is if you're doing it for a large unit like Ungors for Warhammer, or if you had like Skaven or something, your test models you can just put in the back. You're going to get better at it the more you do it, right? So that's something to consider. And in a future video, I'll be showing my basically test base for these, because that's another thing I got to figure out is how I'm going to base them. I would have already done that, but some of the stuff I ordered from Amazon had a great picture of some cork board that I can break apart, you know, make rocks and stuff. I can't find mine since I moved, so I ordered some, and it looked like it was a bunch of sheets of it for a reasonable price, and this is what I got. They sent me toasters, right? Like a coffee mug. That's what I got. So, I mean, I can use them, I guess. That's like 20 sheets right there. I'll just have to break them into a million pieces. But, yeah. So, it'll be a little bit for that. And I'm kind of designing how I want to do them. 3D printing some mushrooms and stuff. Going to do like a wood base. So, stay tuned for that. I appreciate you guys watching. Let me know which one you think looks the best. Am I just off here? Or what looks better on either ones. I think the third one has a little bit better contrast than the first one, but there are some things I think I could incorporate. So let me know what you guys think. All right, I appreciate you guys watching. Until next time, talk to you guys later. Bye.